Good morning. Hey, my voice may sound a little strange this morning. I've been sick through the weekend and my throat's still recovering, so I might crack or cough a little bit, but I've got my trusty water with me anyway. So, hey, my friend told me a story recently about a couple that went to a party. And about midway through the party, the wife comes up to the husband and says, "Can we go home?" And she says, "I've been really offended." So they're in the car driving home. And the husband says to the wife, "What was so offensive to you?" She said, "Back there, do you remember Betty?" And he said, "Yes." "Well, Betty came up to me and told me she started a new cosmetic business. And she realized that I needed a makeover. And she was asking me when she could make the appointment. Honey," she said, "do you think I need a makeover?" Her husband quickly and wisely answered, saying, "No, you don't need a makeover." So she was quiet for a little while longer. And then she said to her husband, a little more quietly this time, "Do you know, honey, sometimes I talk to my friends. And when I do, I say to them, you need Jesus in your life. Do I offend them?" Interesting. There is a scripture that says, to make up a friend that you've offended is harder to do than breaking through a city wall. And there's another scripture that says, go into all the world and preach the scripture and preach the gospel. Now, how can you go into all the world and preach the gospel and not offend someone? Well, today I think a lot of us think that the way to do that is through social media. You just post things. You don't have to be there to experience the feelings that a person gets when you're talking to them on social media. And so then people get thousands of friends on these things, on Instagrams, Facebook, YouTube followers, that sort of thing. Excuse me. And what they want to do is they want to end up with a lot of friends so that when they send a message out, then they're going to get a lot of people that are going to believe what they're saying. And some are even going to give them some money. But that's not the way that Jesus worked. And he actually followed another scripture, and that scripture says that a man who has too many friends can go into ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer to you than a brother. So Jesus went about it an entirely different way. He just went to 12 men, and he got to know them eye to eye, ear to ear, face to face, with each other, talking with each other, getting to know each other intimately. That's what he wants us to do with our friends. And that's how you start any friendship. You start to talk together. You have a conversation. You find out what that other friend's beliefs are, their dreams, their goals, their aspirations in life, and truly listen for them. Don't just do it passe. No, really understand them and really even if they don't believe the same things you do, get to know them. And they will get to know you. And one day when they get to know you, they're going to start asking you some questions. But to get there, you've got to have that communication. And some of the communication can be nonverbal. Like, for example, if they see you doing charity things for people where you're not going to get paid for anything, that's going to tell them something about you. If they see you willing to forgive and forget those kind of crazy little things they may say to you that kind of rub you the wrong way, and they know it, that says something about you. Or what about even the things that are symbolic things that they don't even see? Like, for example, the bumper sticker in your car, what you put in your car, or what the post you post in your Facebook. That tells a lot about you. So when you meet your friends and you're talking with them, carry on that conversation and really strive to understand and know them better than just a casual conversation. And the day's going to come when they're going to ask you why you believe in the things you believe and why you do the things you do. And at that time, it's important that you have an answer that gives them the reason for the hope that lies within you. And part of that should be your own personal testimony. There is a scripture that says, we overcome accusers by the sacrifice of Jesus and by the word of our testimony. Yeah. Hey, look, I just want to wrap this up. I want to keep this very short. But I do want to say to people, don't take your friends to church and to save them. I mean, a church is not a place to go to where for that. But we go to church, a local church, A, to be refreshed in the Word, B, to commune with fellow believers, C, to celebrate and worship the God that we know and loves us. And one day, those friends who've asked you those questions, some of the close friends, are going to get to understand exactly why you're like that. And now they're going to have the same belief in Jesus. And they're going to profess it with their mouth. And on that day, you're going to become that person, that friend who sticks closer to them than a brother. You're going to help them. You're going to lead them to the one that is a giver and is the source of all truth and life and love. Yes, I do this Facebook posts. I don't have a lot of friends, as you know. I don't have thousands, and most of you I know personally, and you know me personally. And I'm not here to try to preach and change your minds. But there are some of you who I think just are striving to learn how they can more communicate to some people and not offend them. And I think this is the way to do it. So I hope I've encouraged you and motivated you in that. And that we can all one day learn a little more about who God really is and what he means to us in our lives. Thanks for being with me this morning. Talk to you again later. Bye for now.